Cowboys Nation, what a wild ride we are about to break down today. Because the energy around this team after that matchup feels like something pulled straight out of a football documentary that people will be replaying for years before the first snap even hit the turf. You could feel that atmosphere buzzing like a stadium that knows something special is brewing. The kind of night where the players walk out with that fire in the eyes that tells you they are not here to ease into anything. They came out charged up, loud, loose, laughing, bumping shoulders, talking their talk, and carrying themselves with the confidence of a group that believes the moment belongs to them. And I swear, the hype on that sideline had the kind of electricity that makes you want to strap on pads yourself, because every player was locked in and feeding off each other as if someone flipped a switch and said, "Go be great." You could hear guys shouting about being mic'd up, messing with each other, hyping teammates. The kind of raw camaraderie you only get when a locker room is tight, and the players trust one another. The smiles were loud, the jokes even louder, and every little moment showed how much this team loves competing together. And as they formed that pregame circle, the tone changed, the jokes faded, the eyes sharpened, and suddenly it was all focus. You hear one voice reminding the group that today is about playing fast, playing physical, playing explosive, and protecting the football no matter what. Another voice echoes that everything starts with the men standing in that circle. Nobody else. It felt like a promise, right then and there, that they were going to show exactly what type of game this was going to be. Then came that fire, that burst of pure swagger, when one of the guys told everyone to look back and leave no doubt against the opponent on the other side. The message was simple and loud. This was going to be played on their terms. And the sideline erupted when someone started riffing on those rival fans in the stands, talking about how they came out loud but were about to get quiet real quick. The whole team fed on it. You could feel that competitive edge tightening. That moment where the adrenaline stops being hype and becomes focus. From there, they broke that huddle like a team about to unleash something. The opening defensive stance told the story right away. There was no backing down, no hesitation, just bodies flying to the ball and players barking encouragement after every snap. Even when the opponent managed to punch in an early score, nobody on that sideline flinched. A coach gathered the defense and reminded them that they were fine, that it was just a couple of plays to clean up on the back end, and that the key was staying committed to the same objective on every snap. He kept preaching physicality, consistency, and effort, and the group responded. You could see the way the players nodded along, absorbing every word, knowing he was right. It was still the beginning of the game, and there was no reason to panic. Then came that moment of pure leadership, when one of the special teams guys owned up to a mistake right away. No excuses, no finger pointing, just total accountability. He stood there saying that was on him, that his uni had slipped, that he had to be better, and the respect around him was obvious. Because players love a teammate who steps up and takes responsibility without waiting for someone to call them out. That kind of mentality is what keeps a football team sharp when things get rocky. Even after a tough turnover where a runner tripped and dropped the ball, the reaction on the sideline wasn't panic. Instead, teammates ran right up to him, reminding him he was too good to let that moment shake him, telling him to stay locked in, keep the energy up, shake it off, and get right back to competing. That is the kind of culture that keeps a team from spiraling when the opponent starts stacking early points, and despite falling behind, nobody on that sideline acted like the game was slipping away. One of the veterans kept saying it was still a full ball game, that the opponent just had a small head start and nothing more. And the way he said it lit a spark through the entire bench, because players started repeating it, feeding off that message, turning it into motivation. You could literally feel the confidence returning as the offense took the field again. Then the momentum shifted, a quick burst, a sharp throw over the middle, a sprint down the sideline, and suddenly the Cowboys were right back in striking distance, and that sideline exploded. Because everybody knew what that meant. Things were changing. They could feel it. When the defense forced a huge third down stop with no pressure at first and then a late surge to disrupt the throw, the entire bench roared. Because they knew plays like that start stacking. One stop becomes two becomes a drive, and a drive becomes points, and the offense answered. Dak Prescott settled into rhythm. The line gave him time, and he started slicing the field with those clean crossers. Then you had that hilarious sideline exchange between the teammates comparing where they played college ball. One from Alabama, one from Georgia, both laughing and talking trash like brothers while the stadium noise rumbled around them. It was just pure football energy. The kind of connection you love to see from guys who trust each other in high-pressure moments. And that rhythm kept building. A deep ball down the right side, a massive gain. And the sidelines started buzzing because they knew the drive was alive. Then came the bootleg, the throw into the end zone, and the celebration when one of the younger receivers hauled in his first career touchdown. That moment hit differently. You could see his teammates celebrating like it was their own score, pushing him, hugging him, yelling that he finally got one. It was that kind of night, and even as the clock began to wind down toward halftime, the vibe only kept rising. One of the players said all he thought about was staying on his feet, staying focused, doing his job on every snap. They all knew that the smallest detail can swing a game, and they carried that discipline into the locker room. The second half opened with the same intensity. The sideline buzzing like a live wire, every player pacing, every coach pointing, hands waving. The air thick with determination. You could see it in the eyes of every Cowboy on the field. The way they squared their shoulders, the way the quarterback scanned the defense like a general, calculating every move. Prescott had that look that tells you he knows he can control the game, that he can pick apart any scheme thrown at him, and the rest of the team followed suit, reacting instantly to the rhythm he was setting. The offensive line dug in, running backs shifted in their stances, and receivers adjusted their routes like a choreographed dance that had been practiced, but felt spontaneous because of the energy surging through the stadium. From the opening snap, it was clear that the momentum was theirs to seize. Quick handoffs, smart short passes, and explosive bursts downfield started turning the tide. Every time the ball moved past the first down marker, the sideline erupted with cheers, high fives, and fists pumping the air. The defense, meanwhile, was relentless. Every tackle was clean, every pursuit sharp, every blitz timed perfectly. You could feel the unity. It wasn't just a team playing, it was a machine operating at full capacity, each unit feeding off the other. And when a miscue happened, as it inevitably does in football, no panic set in. Instead, there was that calm, controlled fire and acknowledgement that they could fix it, that they were too good to let one play define them. Prescott kept orchestrating like a conductor, in perfect sync with his orchestra. Quick reads, decisive throws, and perfectly timed runs by the backs gave the offense a rhythm that made the opposition look disoriented. And the sideline, man, it was a show in itself. Players yelling encouragement, clapping each other on the back, repeating key phrases like a mantra to keep the focus razor sharp. Stay on your assignment. Trust the guy next to you. Play physical, play smart. You could hear echoes of those commands bouncing across the bench and into the field. Every player internalized that energy and translated it into action. Then came those plays that make you jump out of your seat, the kind of moments that get replayed on highlight reels and social media clips long after the final whistle. A perfectly executed fake handoff, a defensive slip, a quarterback stepping into a throw under pressure, and suddenly the ball was in the end zone. Touchdown! The sideline erupted. And it wasn't just celebration, it was a release of all the energy built up from the first snap. A release of confidence that this team could do anything together. High fives, chest bumps, shouts, laughter, and even a few tears of relief. It was a cocktail of raw emotion that only a game like this can produce. As the quarter continued, the intensity didn't drop. Every series was a battle, every yard fought for, every tackle contested. The Cowboys' defensive unit made crucial stops, knocking the opponent back on their heels, forcing turnovers that swung the momentum entirely. The offense capitalized, finding soft spots in coverage, exploiting gaps in the line, and turning small gains into large chunks of yardage. Each snap seemed preordained to create excitement, each play a moment for someone to shine. The young players stepped up, veterans guided them, and together it felt like a perfect storm brewing on the field. What stood out was the communication. Prescott calling audibles, receivers adjusting routes mid-snap, backs reading blocks, and defenders perfectly. It was a symphony of football intelligence and athletic precision. And off the field, the sideline was like a second team of coaches, players shouting adjustments, reminders, and encouragement. Lock in, eyes up, move fast. Every voice contributed to the collective mindset that nothing short of excellence would suffice. It wasn't just physical prowess, it was mental toughness, discipline, and sheer willpower coalescing in real time. And then came the moment that seemed almost cinematic. The quarterback faked a handoff, rolled to the right, and with a flick of the wrist launched a deep pass downfield. The receiver tracked it perfectly, adjusted midair, and came down with the ball. Touchdown! You could see the stadium shake with the roar of fans, but the sideline, absolute chaos in the best way. Players were screaming, running toward the field, arms around each other. Some doubled over with relief and joy. It was the kind of moment that reminds you why football isn't just a game, it's a passion, a living, breathing experience that creates memories for a lifetime. And even as the clock wound down toward the final minutes, the focus never wavered. Every play was deliberate, every assignment executed with precision. When a defender broke through the line for a sack or forced a fumble, the offense answered right back with a clean series of passes, a mix of runs, and perfect protection from the line. There was no panic, no rushing, just the disciplined confidence of a team that knew its capabilities. Every snap felt like a statement. We are here, we belong, and we will finish this game on our terms. Prescott continued to show leadership, scanning the field like a chess master, knowing when to push forward and when to play smart. Receivers ran crisp routes, backs exploded through gaps, and the offensive line created just enough space for magic to happen. And when the opportunity came to score the game-winning points, there was no hesitation, no overthinking, just execution. Every player was in sync, every movement precise, and the result was exactly what a team of this caliber deserves: success earned through hard work, focus, and unity. And the celebration, pure, unfiltered joy, chest bumps, high fives, shouting, laughing, hugging. Every emotion poured out as the realization hit that they had pulled it off. The sideline, which had been tense, focused, and buzzing for hours, suddenly erupted into jubilation. Young players celebrated alongside veterans, proving that the culture of accountability, energy, and camaraderie was alive and thriving. The game wasn't just won on points, it was won on effort, on leadership, on heart. Every player knew they had contributed to something special, something worth remembering, something that would be talked about in locker rooms and living rooms alike for weeks to come. And through it all, the message was clear: this team is capable of greatness. Not just in flashes, but consistently when it matters most. There was accountability, there was energy, and there was trust in each other. That combination is what makes a playoff team. A team that can endure pressure, overcome adversity, and shine when the stakes are highest. You could see it in the sideline gestures, in the shouts and calls, in the way they hugged, laughed, and celebrated. It wasn't just a win, it was a statement. A promise to themselves and to Cowboys Nation that they belong on the field when it counts. Before we roll on, subscribe to Cowboys Wire News, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Your support keeps the Dallas Cowboys updates coming. Tell us what you think in the comments. Whispers have been swirling through the league's most shadowy corners, and the latest murmur has the NFL world buzzing. The Dallas Cowboys are said to have quietly reached an understanding with superstar pass rusher Myles Garrett, positioning him as the new centerpiece of their defensive identity. No official confirmation has surfaced, and neither side has stepped forward to address the speculation. But insiders close to the situation insist that something significant is brewing behind heavily guarded doors at the Star. The rumor gained momentum after several team personnel were spotted in unusually closed-off meetings, fueling curiosity about whether Dallas is preparing a bold reshaping of its defensive front. Garrett's name emerged almost immediately, and once it did, the buzz spread like wildfire. Even without confirmation, fans have begun imagining the imposing edge defender in navy, silver, and white, storming off the line as the anchor of a reinvented Cowboys defense. Some sources, always unnamed, always vague, claim that internal excitement within the franchise has reached a fever pitch. Others suggest the move could signal a larger philosophical shift, a push for a defense built around sheer dominance rather than finesse. The idea of Garrett stepping into a leadership role only intensifies the chatter, with many wondering whether Dallas is aiming to create one of the most feared defensive units in the league. Of course, with no official announcement, all of this remains in the realm of whispers and winks. Yet the sheer volume of the noise makes it difficult to dismiss. Cowboys supporters find themselves oscillating between cautious skepticism and soaring excitement, while rivals are already imagining what such a transformation could mean. Whether this developing story sparks into reality or fades into off-season mythology, one thing is certain: the rumor itself has electrified the league. And until someone steps forward with a firm denial or a stunning confirmation, the football world will keep leaning in, eager to catch every flicker of this growing fire. That's a wrap from Cowboys Wire News. For breaking Cowboys updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Tell us your take in the comments.